In this episode, we do something slightly different and we talk about the importance of going to a physical site. This is Aidan Rees-Heron and you're watching Property Geek TV episode 49. Now, I know it's been a long time since we last spoke. I've literally just checked myself and I think it was March the last time we made a post like this. So what we've been trying to do for the last few months is really concentrate on building our business. And in fact, we got so caught up in doing that we've got to tell people what we're doing. And that's one of the reasons we're relaunching Property Geek TV. And this time I actually mean it. We've got a team together. So Reese and Leo are back. Well, Reese is new, who's helping with our social media and our content production. Leo is back and editing and doing a pretty damn good job. The rest of the team has grown. The Discovery Hub team has grown. The Development Discovery team has grown. Our partnerships have grown. And things are very, very exciting. And so we've taken on board the advice to document and not create. And what I was too busy doing is trying to create content. What I want to do is just show you what we've been up to. So we've got with Reese, we've lined up some day trips that we're going to be taking in the next few months to go and have a look at some sites. We've got some Q&As lined up and some behind the scenes footage. And that's what today is. So in this session, what I want to do is take you behind the scenes to one of our partners' days where we had a Q&A session and what Alan is going to be focusing on in this short video is he's talking about the importance of going to visit a site. So Leo, maybe you can flash up like the site picture I sent you, just like flash it up now and then take it down real quick. So those of you that watch the rest of the video, you'll see this site, again, flash it up. Okay, referenced a few times. It's on the screen at the back of the room and you can't really see it, which is a bit awkward, but that's the site that they're looking at and they're talking about the importance of going to visit a physical site. Now, the evaluation period of a development is really important. Alan's our senior developer, so he's been doing this for a long time, and I thought the best thing to do is instead of me repurposing that, I'll just show you it. So enjoy this behind the scenes session. If you guys like it, comment below or let me know. And maybe we can put together another one of these sessions. And then later this week or next week, I'm going to be recording an official update from Development Discovery, which is our development arm of Discovery Hub, about all of the projects that we're currently doing, what stages they're all at. And we're going to make that a monthly thing. So every month we'll give you an update on here, on the channel, about what projects we've been doing, how they're going, and what obstacles we've overcome that month. So I hope you enjoy this session, and it's good to be back.
So,
you need a filter as well, by the way.
yeah, okay. So again, this particular site, and so what's the first thing that comes to mind? Even before, when you did the first appraisal, so what things you thought, okay, this, put the appraisal together, you have to consider a few things.
Well, I looked at a number of things on that were good when you look at it on the flat like this. So one, whoever has bought it in the first place, the landowner who owns this lot, has actually given over this area to a construction compound. So sometimes that's a real pain in the neck, how you build. I mean, the big point about going to visit the site is you want to see if there are any things that you cannot get, you can't glean as a result of looking at a drawing. So you're looking for some positives as where am I going to put, where's the contractor going to put his compound? So that's really important. How are we going to access the construction traffic? Now actually what we found when we were there is that there's probably a way of getting construction traffic in this area here, right in this corner, because there is an access in that corner that's not shown in this drawing. So that becomes really handy because you want to try and separate the public traffic from the construction traffic, which is kind of obvious from a health and safety point of view.
Right, so that's one that is obvious, but it took
Okay.
me about 6 months to realize this. When you go into any building site, there's a public area. That's where the show house is, and where as you sell the houses, those additional houses become public area, and it's something that's completely different. It's just where the building is happening, and they are segregated. They cannot be both the traffic. Ideally, has to be they need to be used in different ways. and they simply can't mix. So simple, very simple concept. It makes sense, but something to bear in mind as you think of how you build the development.
Because what that impacted in here.
Health and safety, no, health and safety first thing. But the main thing is that you cannot be,
Yeah.
you're going to have some kids running and then next thing a truck.
So there are some sites where you just literally cannot avoid it, and so what you have to put in place in every construction site, it doesn't matter whether it's a conversion of an existing building, a commercial project, or a residential project, then you have to put together, the contractor needs to put together on your behalf, bless you, a construction phase health and safety plan. And that's basically saying this is how we're going to build it, and this is how we're going to separate the construction activities from any other public activities. So when I looked at this initially, I guess I was thinking, wow, this is great because we only need to make this bit public. So make that the show house. But then when you went there and seen it on site, you thought, actually, that one needs to be the show house. This happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
Touch screens like yours. So this probably needs to be the show house because that would be the access for the road. This is you guys that are looking at this one, right?
Do you think that the compound at the end is going to impact the sale price of it?
No. No, and I would build it. I'd build it that way. You know, once you get around here, got no idea how to do this without showing something on my back. As you come in from the top left up there, you're basically coming through what would be the last plot to get built, through some open area and into here. You can completely segregate it from the site. It's good for that point of view. You'd notice differently as a result of the site being, as a result of visiting the site. The other things that you notice when you visit the site, which are the things that, as I look at this, that I would want before kind of going any further on this site, this development down here, this fella here. I don't know, we're getting it, yeah, okay. So that's a fairly modern development, and when you look at it, it actually sits really nice in its setting. So it looks affluent, looks really good. The stuff on the other side doesn't look quite as affluent. And then also as you go up that road, right up to the end, I don't know how far up that drawing goes. Eduardo, does it go far? No. Nah, it's as far as it goes. So as you go past this, what does it call that one? Puppies or poppies? Poppies. As you go past that house called Poppies there, probably about another 3 or 4 houses maybe, something like that.
Yeah.
And then you come into an industrial area. And that's quite interesting because when we were there, first thing that happened to us as we drove down into that area is an Arctic came out of there and drove up the street. And then whilst we were there as well, a cement lorry came down the street at the same time. So there's a lot of heavy traffic going down quite a sort of narrow road. Now, that...
Let me stop you for a second. So one thing that I at the end of this half an hour there, in the end, I said, we are walking out, I said, okay, traffic's going to be heavy. I said, what do you mean heavy? Well, there were 9, and Aaron had been counting. So he's looking at the price, and so, but he had counted the number of cars that had gone through during that half an hour. Okay, so counting the traffic while you are there helps. So things that you do every day, don't you, when you walk anywhere? No. Okay.
I do.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Yeah, because if you think, and why is that important?
Because it may put off people looking for a nice residential quiet place to live.
Exactly. If you think so,
Narrow your mind.
this looks like it should be an ideal residential area to bring up a family. Because if you look at it, you've got fields all around you, and you know it's not congested. It's a really nice little village. We didn't see the school, but I'm told the school's a nice school. You know, you look in the Ofsted ratings, it all looks pretty decent. The agent was that was one of the things the agent was saying to us when I was speaking to him the other day, was just, you know, there's good school in the area, good little village, thriving community. And certainly the other thing that we looked at was the village notice board, which a lot of villages in England have, and they had.
Yeah.
In fact, you got a photograph of it, haven't you?
Yeah, I have a picture somewhere. So, but
Some
right here,
stuff going on.
right here, there is a notice board, and by just reading that then you learn half the story of the village and how affluent or not it might be.
And so
There's
these properties here were all going for about 450, 500 roughly. The ones in the area there. So my big question would be, you know, if that was a successful development and you have this site sat right next to it, why on earth are you not doing it? So for me, that would be the first thing that I would be wanting to find out. Why is a developer that's just done the site next door, it looks like it's worked, all the houses have sold, have they not made any money, has there been a problem?
So that's, by the way, for your cohort, that's the sort of thing, that's, you know, task number one is find out why.
Yeah.
Why they haven't done that yet. So we have the name of the guys who built that one.
But it was a firm of engineers.
Yes, a firm of, yeah.
That tells its own story as well. So it may well be that the reason it didn't happen is because
They are not
they're not
interested.
developers. That was the kind of site that they were doing, and it maybe did or didn't work for them. But there'll be a story, and understanding that story is important to really understand whether or not that makes sense to go for that site. They may not want to do that site because they've had their fill of it. You never know.
Alan, all the reasons that you are saying about the traffic and everything is exactly the same for them because they are just next door.
Exactly. So that was, yeah. Traffic, it's the same for that development. That's what you're saying, Virginia, yeah?
Yeah.
Traffic is exactly the same for that development, yeah. So, my guess is that it is a slow selling site. That's my guess, but I'd like to find that out. And if that was the case, you want to try and find out why. So all the while, there's a bit of digging with these things. You're always kind of pulling at threads.
Check when was done. The time.
So you spoke to somebody on.
Yeah, we spoke to, and they have been
Eduardo,
about
a
four.
new best friend.
Yeah, yeah. The guy living here somewhere. It was somewhere here. Oh no, not somewhere here. Yeah, number 16. Yeah. So he said that he had been. Obviously, he wouldn't remember exactly. He said it had been built about. They had started about 4 or 5 years ago. At some point, they stopped altogether, and then they cracked on and sold the thing. So, but that was as it was very vague.
And he said about 4, some or other they were selling for.
And they sold for. He said that those units sold for 450.
And basically, this site is, there's a bungalow here and here, and the rest of them are 2-story houses, and nice.
Yeah.
Nicely put together. Looked really well. So, from my point of view, that would be the kind of key things there. I'd be worried about the traffic, and so I'd be wanting to look at that a bit more than just the half an hour that we were there. And it may well be the traffic surveys and stuff that you can pick up for the council that show not that road, but the main arterial road that sort of that turns into, that might give you an indication. And also why these guys are living in the next door, because it would seem if you'd sold that one out in reasonable order and you'd got reasonable sales, you would just immediately fold over into the next one. Why would you not?
Get the name of the engineering company.
What did you call them, Eduardo?
Sorry, then?
The engineering company were called.
I've already written down so, and I can't remember just now. It was Brian something. Was it?
I need to have a view.
Okay, yeah.
So the other thing that the other thing that's worth looking at, and so the first thing I look at when I go on any site is where's the drainage, where are the utilities, is anything like that really obvious? So the things you're looking at are, as you walk along, there are a lot of stuff in villages like that is sort of overhead. So there was a transformer up here, right at this point here. So there was an overhead cable that ran up the boundary of the site. Is that right, Eduardo? I didn't want to mix up my.
It ran all the way, and it was a pole here, so it should not be a.
You get a picture of it or something?
The transformer was there, wasn't it?
Yeah. So again, you need to, because that's a transformer serving an existing area, you need to know if there is capacity in that. So again, that's part of the diligence, not necessarily diligence that you guys would need to do, but at the point at which we would, we certainly want to make sure all the utilities are in place adjacent to the site, so it's not going to be too difficult. Now, that's the point of going there, so when we went along, electricity is certainly on site, water and drainage run right along the site, as does telecom. Gas we weren't 100% sure of, difficult to tell whether it's in the area or not. It looked like it might have been, but there again looked like it might not have been. So.
How would you know if the transformer has capacity?
Well, you don't by looking at it, so you have to go to the utility company and ask the question.
Any utility?
No, just the utility that is, that owns it effectively. And the utility company will be, so the way you find this out, nice and simply, if you go to the planning portal, this site will have been, this is granted, is this outline planning consent or full planning consent? Can we remember?
It's no, it's outline planning consent.
Outline planning consent. So anytime a site comes up for planning in any form, outline or full, then there are a number of statutory consultees that the council have got to approach, and the utility companies that are relevant to the area are all there. So you will find correspondence on the planning portal between the electric company, the gas company if one exists, the water company, so on and so forth, seeing what's in the area. So that will give you a starting point. They won't give you capacity, but they will give you if there is a problem, that will be noted, and it will be noted as a condition on the planning consent.
It's me again. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a minute to subscribe. The button's down here somewhere. I can't really remember which way around it is. But subscribe to the channel and stay up to date with all of our future releases. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Discovery Hub HQ. And it's really good to be back. Subscribe.